Hey everybody, we're live. Welcome to my monthly studio hangout. This is just a time every month where I hop online and talk about what I've been working on, art, and answer any questions that you guys might have for me. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Angela R. Sasser. I'm a fantasy artist, writer, artisan. I do a lot of different stuff, and as you can see with my new lower third here, right there, you can go to www.angelasasser.com and check out what I'm all about. I'll do a lot of different things, so it's hard to introduce myself, and I fail at it every time I try. So, yeah, welcome to my monthly studio thing. It's been a little while. We're at 2016 now, and the last time I did this one of these was 2015. So, yeah, this month, just to let you guys know how I've been doing this month, it's been great. 2016 has been uneventful so far, and I'm happy for that. 2015 was far too eventful, so I'm happy for a pleasant, quiet 2016. January so far has just been full of working on a personal project that I've been going full steam ahead with, and I'm about to show you guys some of that in a little bit. But yeah, so as with all New Year's, I've been very introspective and trying to think about what I want to do with 2016. Because 2015, I had to take a lot of time off for family and health concerns, which sometimes that's inevitable. So this year, I'm very much rearing to be hyper focused about what I do with my time. So I've taken a pretty scary step actually, and I've started, for one, I've started saying no to a lot of projects now, and that's really, really hard. I've started saying no to a lot of self-publishing requests, mainly because I really want to, as I was saying, to hyper-focus on my own personal projects and start building a body of work I can be proud of. Because for the past years, I have been mainly focusing on small projects, small indie projects for other people, and while that's been great experience in learning business and whatnot, I've really wanted to just focus on my own thing. So now that means while we're financially stable, fingers crossed, I'm going to use the time that I have to work on those personal projects, which you guys have heard me talk about already. The Monster Girls, which I have a lot of cool plans for them, as you know, and the Ladies of the Months, the Birthstone Art Nouveau series. So I'm just really going to stay focused on that and try not to get distracted by chasing that dollar sign all over the place. It's a little scary because saying no to jobs, I'm always like, oh no, what if we need that money for the future? But I'm trying to have faith in myself that putting time into my own personal projects means that I'll get the payoff of having things that in my portfolio that I can be proud of, and that it shows work that I want to do. So yeah, and that's important because while I always throw myself into self-publishing projects and personal projects for commissionees, sometimes you end up with something that you don't really want to show more of, and that's happened to me way too often. So yeah, that's my big thing. I'm learning how to say no. It's even harder than saying. It's just a really hard skill that you have to learn once you go professional. You just have to learn how to say no and spend your time wisely. So yeah, nuggets of wisdom. And speaking of New Year, I wanted to show you guys some cool Christmas presents that I got. So to start this new year, I got this awesome calendar from a friend. Art Nouveau glitter. This is the work of Alphonse Mucha. My friend knows me so well. It's not only Mucha, but it's glitter. And I love that these are such lovely, detailed close-ups of his work. That's going to be major inspiration for the Ladies of the Month series coming up. Isn't it beautiful? So, awesome calendar. Thank you, Alessandra. You're awesome. And then, other cool present that I got from the boyfriend who, of course, knows the way to my heart is through food and art books. So, I gotta show you what he did. Assassin's Creed art books. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, for those who don't know. And whether you like the games or not, the clothing is gorgeous. And I'm such a fiend for cool costumes and alternate history stuff. So we got French Revolution assassins and Victorian era assassins. I was really, really hyped to get these for Christmas. So I got all the art books. I even got one more. I made out like a bandit because my friends are awesome. Alien Isolation. And if you don't know what this is, it's the art book for a game where you get to play Ellen Ripley's daughter. And she's a total badass, just like her mom. So yeah, I can't wait to crack open all these art books. I'll probably get some reviews of them up, since that's something else I wanted to go and get more involved in this year, was to start doing more reviews for other artists. So if you are interested in those books, you can look and see, hey, are those worth adding to my collection or whatnot. So other things I want to do, I have all the things planned for 2016. Let's see. Oh, let me screen share so you can see what I've been working on. So one of the big projects for this year that I am so hyped about is the Monster Girls. And you guys have seen the rest of these. If not, I'll show you real fast. This was a random challenge that I did because I was very stressed out, and I figured, you know what? I need something completely random to unwind and get myself into a better mental place with my art. So with all the stress that happened with me, I found the list of the 30-day Monster Girl Challenge online. And what this is a list of all these different types of monsters, and you just draw them. And you know what? It felt nice to do this series that was just made for fun, because I put so much stress on myself to make everything that I draw, to make sure it has someone who will invest in it and buy whatever it is that I draw. And you know what? That's stressful, and sometimes you just need to learn to have fun with art again. So the Monster Girls was a great way to get back into having fun with my art instead of being obsessed with making money from every single thing I draw. And I got to draw cool, gruesome stuff that I never draw. I always draw like super cute, girly stuff. So it was fun to actually draw this stuff that I don't think I ever would have drawn normally. Seriously, when would I get the chance to draw a super cute spider chick eating tea cookies and knitting? I mean, that just wouldn't have happened if I hadn't taken on this challenge. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm currently working on this chibi chart, which is supposed to be for the final topic, called Celebrate. And so they're all have their hands up in the air and they're celebrating Monster Girls. And I figured this would be a cute topic for that, or a cute response to that topic. So I'm chibifying Dragon at the moment. And of course, my favorite one so far is the little zombie. So I'm just still having so much fun. And I think these would make really super cute stickers too. So we will see how this goes. I am drawing cute things. That is weird. All right. So that's really all I've been working on. I'm trying to stay hyper-focused on this instead of splitting my attention 5,000 ways to try to finish everything at once. So saying no to jobs and focusing on one project at a time. I can do this. So back to some announcements. Oh, and if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A panel on the right. And once I get to answering questions, I will talk about your questions. So some announcements. For Patreon, I've actually had to pause the mentorships I was doing because, as I've been saying, I really, really want to stay hyper-focused on my personal projects. So that means that I've closed down mentorships, but I know that's such a helpful service. It's helpful and affordable for people that I wanted to offer something in the meantime. So I've added a reward tier on Patreon that's called the Art Student. And what this does is that I will give you a red line or paint over of your art each month if you get that reward tier. And this is a $40 tier. And you can buy those separately from me, like just outside of Patreon. But what you're getting if you go through Patreon, you're getting the wallpapers, you're getting the tutorial videos that I do that are exclusive to Patreon, you're getting all those other goodies. So check it out if you need help with your art and just need someone to help see what you might not be able to pick out in your work that's frustrating you. I love to help and I want to unlock that potential in your work. So check out the Art Student tier. I want to make some video examples since the other critiques I've done have been private. But once I do, you guys will be the first to see those examples. Also, Patreon has started doing a referral program. I just noticed it today when I logged in. It's basically, you guys, if you are excited about Patreon as much as I am, you can actually use a referral link where you sign up for Patreon and they'll see how many people you get in the first 30 days. And if you get 30 patrons or more, you get $50, and so do I. So I'll put a referral link because I get Patreon questions all the time. So if you want to try Patreon or talk to me or ask questions about it, whatever you want to do, you can try this link or drop me a line and I'll do what I can. So I think that's exciting. You guys know I'm like Patreon enthusiast. And speaking of that Patreon is actually a big part of my plan for this year too, because while I'm downgrading working on self-pub jobs with people, I'm focusing more on my own indie efforts. So that means I'm going to be focusing on doing the tutorials for Patreon, resources for Patreon, and just focusing on my own art. And that's exciting, you know. I already feel so much freer letting some of these extra projects go away, so I can not go away, but you know, letting them go and not saying yes to everything. So I'm excited to see where this new direction goes. I'll be relying on those videos for income instead of self-pub jobs, and also putting any of the reference photos I make online as well, and coloring pages. So we'll see how doing all this kind of content that I make as an artist and putting it online for people to purchase digitally, we'll see how that goes for me. So yeah. Oh, I think that's all the announcements I had. Oh, the January sketch winner, since for those who are new on Patreon, I have everyone who's eligible send me inspiration prompts, and then I pick the most inspiring one to draw. January's prompt winner was Stylish Werewolf. So that's a really cute one, Bronwyn. I can't wait to get to sketching that. So you'll have that one soon. I've been a little slowed down, but I'll catch up. So questions. Jennifer left me a great question in comments, and that question is, I haven't had much time to draw, and I am in a funk of wanting to draw but not doing it. Have you had a time in your life where you had not been drawing for a while and then had a hard time getting motivated to get back at it? Ooh, girl. Yes, I have had this time. It was basically all of my 2015. After dealing with high stress situations, I couldn't draw. I was too stressed out, and the extra stress of trying to have any expectation with my art just made me totally unable to draw. And the advice I have for you there is, when you get to that point, I think to me it says maybe you need to stop drawing and go and shake up your experiences. Go out, talk to friends, go out in nature, get your mind going in another way where you're not stressing about art. And I think sometimes that break from putting so much expectation on your art can help you refresh the well of inspiration. And I think it's really important to refresh the well. So go do something non-art related. Go to a museum, take that time to read instead. And for the love of God, don't look at the internet. Don't look at more art, because sometimes I think this feeling of not wanting to work on your own art comes because you're like looking at awesome art and getting awesomeness overload. So when you get to the awesomeness overload part, stop looking at the internet and just try to keep things personal on your own level and just work on things from your own perspective rather than seeing what someone else has been able to achieve and thinking that you'll never get there. So turn off the electronics, pick up a book, practice. Oh, that's the other tip I had is if you just can't get a painting done because you're just frustrated, do some mindless practice. Like, one of my favorite things to do is mindless anatomy studies. There's a really cool life drawing tool, which I will put the URL to it in the description once this video goes on YouTube. But it has life drawing sessions already pre-planned for you. It chooses the pose and the time limit. It has a timer. Just do some mindless gesture drawing, and that way you don't have to think too much about what you're drawing, but you're also increasing your skills at the same time. Master copies are another great mindless exercise. That's where you're just kind of looking at another piece and copying it, but with intent. You know, like, I want to learn how to paint roses better, so look at a masterpiece with roses in it and just kind of copy what you see. It's so relaxing. Or maybe it's just relaxing to me because I'm weird. Maybe. But those are my tips. And yeah, so just don't be too hard on yourself, Jennifer. It will come around. And also, I feel like if it's down to the point where you just feel like you don't have enough time at night to draw, you can be amazed what you can do if you just make yourself sit for like 30 minutes to an hour and just don't let anything else distract you. Just work on art during that time and you will get so much done. I remember when I had a job like doing graphic design, and when I'd get home I'd just be like, I don't feel like doing anything. But I'd have 1 hour before I'd have to go to bed and get up and do it again the next day. And that 1 hour I got a lot of stuff done. So it just pace yourself and try to make good use of your time. And yeah, so that's the only question I have, unless you guys have any other questions. Let me check around the interwebs. I see 3 viewers. If you have questions, you should put them in the question thingy. Let me check Facebook. I don't see any more questions. So I think that's all I have to talk about today. I keep thinking that I'm forgetting something. Well, I'm sure it'll hit me after I hit stop broadcast. But yeah, thanks for joining me this month. As always, these lovely sessions are brought to you by the wonderful folks over on my Patreon, which you can see more of my Patreon and sponsor me and my work at patreon.com/Angela Sasser. And I'll put a link to that in the description too. If you guys have any questions, leave them for me. Oh, hey, you caught me right before I was going to turn off. Jennifer asks, do you turn off your router at a certain time at night? No, but I will tell you, there's a great tool. If Facebook is a problem for you, because it is a problem for me, I have Facebook addiction, I admit. There's a great tool for Chrome called Stay Focused, STAYFOCSD. I think it drops the U off. And basically what this is it blocks sites for a certain amount of time, or like, say if you want it to block you after you've spent 30 minutes in any day on Facebook, it will cut you off. Or you can tell it to block you from like noon to 4. You can tell it specific time periods. That's the one I use to keep my butt focused, because I will sit there and like hit up Facebook. So check out Stay Focused. I'll also put a link to that. So yeah. Although if turning off your router works and you don't have anyone else in your household that'll complain about that, turn off the router is definitely a good way to do it. Because sometimes I sneak on my phone and I check too, and turning off wireless so I'd have to use up my cell phone data would probably be good. So, all right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll check you in the next Hangout. If you have any questions, leave them for me. I'll get to them next time. So, yeah, take care, everybody.